You were sat in a circle.
Not in a circle.
You sat naked in a circle.
No, we went on
with 3 boys.
No, we went rowing. We went rowing, bro.
So anyone was sat behind you in the canoe. Well, you're sat there going.
No. Welcome back to Wafflin.
Hell yeah.
Now, look at this firstly. Gorgeous new apartment on the beach of Miami.
We have leveled up severely.
Look at us. Stunning. We've got a basketball behind Theo.
Don't forget the cock-flavoured soup.
We've got cock-flavoured gravy right behind me.
Wait.
And look at the new logo. What are we saying?
Yeah, this is sensational.
I just want to take a moment before anything and say, boys and everyone, you.
And women.
Right, I'm looking at you right now. Yes, I have missed you. I love you. And boys, here we fucking go.
I thought you got rid of your tattoo sleeve.
What do you mean?
It's
I think it's gorgeous.
Think about it, like, yeah, but when people last watched Wafflin, you hadn't. Had you had the whole sleeve?
I had the whole sleeve removed. I had no tattoos at all. And now I have loads of chest tattoos. I have, like...
How does that make any sense at all?
It's because he found himself.
I have cabbages on my arm. I have...
Wait, what do you mean cabbages?
Well, like, that's what it kind of looks like a little bit.
Is that what it is, a cabbage?
So it's a peony flower, but I, again, got it done in 5 days and just said to the tattoo artist, like, make up whatever you want to.
But you know,
Wait, I didn't know that. Wait, I did not know that. You had no plan of what you were getting.
So it doesn't even mean anything to you?
So it's not... Basically, bruv, no, I just didn't want... like faces or anything personal, because I had that woman's face, like a random woman. Like, get it up now, like a random woman on my arm. And I was like, I just want some sort of shapes that would cover the leftover ink.
Okay.
Like, because I had ink and scarring sort of left over, and people would be like, oh, what's that? What's that? People would say, it looks like there's a newspaper, a wet newspaper that's been stamped on my arm. And I was I just want to get rid of that conversation. So I got a new tattoo.
But wait,
sleeve.
answer this, right? Had you have not had any scarring or any like little leftover bits, would you have voluntarily got another tattoo?
I always wanted one.
You always had a pretend one when you were younger.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I'd always draw one on.
And I think Jeff Hardy one.
Yeah, like I always wanted one. And I think, you know what? I've got to the point now where I actually feel myself.
That's good.
And like, looking back on old Wafflin episodes, right, there's time, like I feel like I had a bit of like, not glow down, but like, what happened? I just wasn't feeling myself.
You could tell that you had like the fat face for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was that. It was like, during COVID, like when we were doing Wafflin before, I was living a completely different lifestyle, and it's mental how the lifestyle you live literally shows on your face and in your whole body.
Mate.
And it's like, now that I'm like, I don't drink anymore, like don't touch anything dodgy. I try to eat real food only, exercise all the time. I found love, right? And I think you can see that. I like to think that you also look glowing, and so does Luke.
I did. Speaking of fat faces, like I didn't realize. Have you seen a photo of me after my surgery?
No.
Oh my god.
Get it up now.
No, fat and bald.
Well, you're still those things.
I cut it a little bit too short.
Wait, what surgery? The hair surgery?
My hip.
Oh.
Yeah, I got very, very, very fat, chubby cheeks. But I think you're right. The lifestyle changes of us have changed over the last 2 years. I actually didn't know you didn't know what you were getting on your arm.
Yeah, I sort of
That's kind of brave though, especially after obviously having
getting it so wrong before. But I feel like, look, everything happens for a reason, and like I am happy with my tattoo. Yeah. Think about this though, getting a neck tattoo. Like when you're laying down there after literally having one that you immediately hate. When I was laying there in the Philippines, like, right, I'm doing this. If this goes wrong for the rest of my life, like even if I get it lasered off, you will be able to see that I've had a tattoo that I don't like. But fortunately, I enjoy this Fred Perry logo that I do have on my actual neck forever, right? I actually quite like it.
Did that one hurt the most?
No, it actually was comfortable. I actually really enjoyed it. It was kind of like endorphins. Like there was a pleasant thing about it. It only took a few hours, and it was, I enjoyed myself.
You're used to that sort of feeling though, aren't you?
Getting choked. Yeah. No, I'm definitely I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I sexually have learned anything new.
I said you did.
No, it's just that we had the first question we got, right, was asking how we've matured, and also, does Joe still have erectile dysfunction?
Wait, and how do people send these questions in?
Oh, they send them in via emailing us at the boys at wafflin.co.
Shout out Luke.
Right? And that is for dilemmas in your relationship, in your life. Any questions, deep and dark, that you may not want to ask anyone else, you will remain anonymous and have a safe space to chat about them.
It doesn't even have to be sexual. It could be like a decision that you have in your life, like a big decision, like what you're going to do. You know, when you've got 2 years of empty space going ahead in front of you, what will you do with your life?
We want to
for
be
the
your
next 2
mate
years?
that you come to with any problem.
Yeah, and we did actually have this idea, right, of getting you on this show, right? So say there's a couple, right, and you've got a serious dilemma within your couple, or there's been an awful incident, cheating, etc. Come on and have it out on the Wafflin Boys show, and we will actually help you. And it can be relationship, it can be anything. Think like Jeremy Kyle, but we're not here to actually take the piss and like use you for entertainment. No, we're here to give you expert advice, and help you. But I just think that could be quite funny. So also, if you believe that that's you and you'd love to come on the show and do that, email the boys at wafflin.co with a video saying why you like what your situation is and what you want to do. I was just basically, I was at the pub and I had like, there was this Buxton Army member, right? He'd watched my videos. He used to have a Joe Weller fan account at the pub.
Oh, man.
And he was with his girlfriend and he was like, oh yeah, we've recently got back, but I cheated and this, that and the other. And I was mediating both of them. And it made me think like, this is actually like really wholesome, really relatable. And I thought like, these guys think they're in a situation that's where they're on their own, but actually people could relate to this.
Everyone can relate with a lot of things. So you were actually in the pub and you just got involved in their one-on-one chat.
Yeah, they came to me. I feel like people can see a safe space here to actually express, and I feel like that happened in real life. So why not bring that to the show?
And obviously, on that topic of like coming back in the space,
yeah,
Wafflin is now under the fellas.
Yeah, we are doing this with Lost Fellas, which is like, I think it's going to be sick in itself. Like the reason why we've come back and we feel now we're going to be able to do it sustainably is like we've got Hussein. Hello. Right, we've got a show producer, we've had a set built, we've got people like looking after like this whole entire production so that we can come and just do our job and they can do theirs. And we're going to be able to get guests on. We're going to do things of different kinds, like guests of really different kinds. And it's like, yeah.
Or do we want to touch on how this has even come about?
Yeah, you know, I think that was a good way to go and actually discuss why like Wafflin is back. Well, yeah. How is it back?
Well, I mean,
it was never going to come back.
Yeah, originally like what? When I went traveling, I went with the idea of making like travel vlogs and all this stuff. But I just felt like conveying what I wanted to get across and like having the most fun, I wasn't really able to do in these like short moments of like traveling about. It was like, I actually want to do a podcast, like having conversation with different people, different personalities is actually what I think will feed me now, a 28-year-old Joe Weller.
I always said from the beginning of the end that we should always do it properly.
Yeah.
That was my number one thing.
In fairness, and you said that like as we were kind of like on the decline, you had said like, well, we should get a studio up in London and like get everything sorted.
Get guests in, do it properly.
But I do think
the future, man.
The break was probably necessary. And
I agree.
I got the best DM of someone, right? Just as like a sign of the times.
But I will say, like, we'll make it clear, like, I did want to do this.
Yeah, no,
I don't think you think I don't want to do this. I definitely did want to do this.
Obviously.
But it had to be right.
Yeah. And now it is. And
for the longevity of all of us as well.
I was definitely the same. Like, I genuinely, the last like few months of Wafflin, like I hated it. And I would say to... I did.
Go that far, mate.
I did. Like, I would like when we didn't have a proper studio and everything. Like, because to me it was about caring about the production and caring about the brand, and like I felt like we just weren't delivering on like what it should be. So like I started to hate it because of that. Because I was like, this is not Wafflin.
Yeah.
So like now coming here and it's all like
exciting
shit. Like we're actually doing it properly.
It is class.
But this DM,
what is it? How does it go?
Was your last pod. I was single. I'm now a dad.
Fucking hell.
Was such an important podcast, and I'm so excited for the return. That is a sign of the times.
It just is.
Actual father.
But yeah, is there anything else that you boys...
I want to know where you have been, because on the internet, you've sort of disappeared for 2.5 years.
Yeah, but then you had a big comeback.
Yeah, on Inside.
Yeah. So talk to us about where you've been for the last 2.5 years, how you found yourself, how you found God.
God? What do you mean God?
I thought you found God, no?
No.
Enlightenment.
Oh, you found found peace with the crystals.
Basically, I decided I went traveling. Why is that funny? Why's that funny?
It's not funny.
I went traveling, right? Firstly with Elliot, but it was a bit more like party, lots of drinking involved. And I can't lie, like I sort of realized like I'm in this beautiful place, like it's so amazing, but like I'm hungover and I'm feeling down. Like alcohol really has that effect on me where like, I actually get quite depressive.
Well, it is a depressant.
It literally is that.
Yeah.
And I would be like in this amazing place, like feeling like shit. So I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. So I was like, I just stopped drinking. Admittedly, it was around the time as well that obviously like that whole like ladyboy situation happened. So I was like, I don't want to feel any worse. So I was sort of like, let me just like, you know, knock the nail on the head. And
would you say the turning point of your decision to quit drinking was going down on someone?
I didn't go down on them.
And seeing a cock.
No, it was around that time, but I basically decided like, look, yeah, I don't want to do that. I started getting into the boxing again and obviously doing the health and fitness. And it was like, right, yes, that's what I'm going to do full time. And I was basically just boxing non-stop. But then there was, obviously I wanted Bazinga to fight and that just wasn't happening. It was not, it was like 1 minute is, 1 minute isn't. And then it was like, I'm either going to not work at all, not live and just wait around, or I can use the fact I have a freedom of life to go traveling by myself.
It's quite brave, you know?
And that's what I fucking did, boys.
Yeah, I would not be able to do
brave.
that. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
Because you get to meet it's such a different experience on your own because you're not, I feel like if you're with someone, you just stick with them, you're probably less inclined to go meet people. Whereas if you're on your own, you're forced to go meet people, you're forced to speak to people.
And this was the thing, like, it made me realize, like, I want to do things that put me out of my comfort zone, right? And the first thing being the solo traveling, but like, learn to drive a bike. Learn to, make friends without someone else holding my hand.
Mate, the fact that you can go up to, I'm guessing this would have had to have happened during this, is like you would have had to like just go up to a random person and start talking to them.
Well, this is like, I can't lie.
Kind of mad.
What is quite useful about like being known is that like, why is that funny?
No, you didn't want to say being famous.
No, well, being known. I'm not famous.
But that's what you meant.
No,
it's
but it's like being known.
Starter.
It's like people.
What you walk up to someone and just say, I'm famous, by the way.
Well, it's what you did in Ibiza.
Is it?
No, I would just be like, right, yeah, like people would come over and then like conversations start from there, and then I'm like, oh, should we go and do something? And then you just become friends.
I quite distinctly remember you walking up and down the strip until someone would come over to you.
Yeah, but when was that?
Ibiza 2020.
2021 when we went.
I will say that though, boys, like where you get used to, like if you're like known and
you're famous.
Like I haven't had to actually go out of my way and like approach most of the people that I've made friends with. Like it would often be that like most friendships that I've actually like started new would be like someone basically like recognizing me and then a conversation going from there.
That's good that you have the positive mindset to do that.
Yeah, but bruv, like it means that like my actual social skills for like going up to people for the first time like weren't really there. And I think that's why I wanted to go solo traveling to an extent to like go, right, I'm going to need to work on my social skills in that aspect and not just rely on people coming over. Obviously, admittedly, that did happen, but there was a lot of, still just getting, you build the confidence socially through doing that. But I will say, since being back, mate, I've like, you start reverting again. Like even like coming up here to London and coming out and about and like there's a nervousness. And I do notice that like, if you don't exercise your, like the social skills and doing things that humans are meant to do in order to function correctly, you will start becoming like anxious, depressed, like stressed in those situations.
Your brain's a muscle at the end of the day.
In it.
And actually, they have actually just discovered a new part of the brain.
Yeah, what's that?
So it's like, I can't remember what it actually called, but it's basically called like the Goggins part.
Right.
Well, like, is it called named after David Goggins?
No, but they discovered it in him.
Oh.
That's how they found it. It's basically the part of your brain which controls like things you don't want to do. So the more you do something you don't want to do, it gets bigger.
Well, that sounds like a bad thing.
I see that.
It physically gets bigger.
Because like when you like feel like, oh, I don't want to do that, I can't be asked to, no, that feels like I don't want to do that, and you give into that feeling, you like affirm it more and more and more.
Yeah,
it's like your, whether it be like your ego or like the chimp part of your brain, right? that basically is just saying like, it keeps you safe, just wants to do what's comfortable and do what you already know. Like it'll stop you. It'll be like, nah, that's long. Don't do that. You need to break through that.
Is that not essentially like making things a habit? Do you know what I mean? Like if you made it a habit to like go out and speak to someone, like every time I'm going to leave the house, I'm going to say hello and ask someone if they're all right. Are they having a good day?
It's just more just doing things you don't want to do, pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. Well, that went deep, didn't it? So we found that you in the last 2 years found yourself, became at one with Moldavite.
I'd say, like the meditating has become like a big part.
Wait, you actually legit meditate now?
Yeah,
like meditation retreat.
Basically, I went to, it's mental. Like, if I go into it, right? So, whilst traveling, I was like, I'm in the best place, made all these friends doing these amazing things, life's quality. But I had this, like, by default, like, frustration and, like, predetermined, like, about, like, in my mind, like, every day. And I realized I was actually caning, like, so much coffee. And I didn't realize, right? So, I'd cut, like, alcohol out. I'd come off antidepressants, no wanking, no porn. Fucking living my best life. So I'd like on it. Why is that funny?
Just
right? So I was smashing it, but I was still just like, like
how much is a lot of coffee though?
I'd have at least like 8 espresso shots a day.
That's unhealthy.
Yeah, I know.
Humans can't take more than like 400 milligrams in 24 hours.
It's like a dangerous amount of caffeine.
So but me and the friend that I made out there, like he was sort of doing it as well. And it was like, fuck, we're going to have to knock that on the head. Let's do that and go on this meditation retreat.
Did you go cold turkey or did you slowly
no, cold turkey. And it was like groggy.
It's not like crack.
For the first 2 weeks, it was like pretty tough. But like for the first time, I was able to feel like love, like in its pure way. And like,
no way that happened.
Mate, you come off coffee and you said I could feel love again.
Mate, it was actually true though. Like, I was like, I actually felt love towards things. Mate, like no joke. Like I could actually feel my own emotions. They weren't predetermined by this substance that was just like making me stressed. Bruv,
this is crazy.
Why is that crazy? If you think about it, it literally like injects cortisol, which is like stress, pure stress into your brain. If you have like loads of it, of course, it's going to limit those positive emotions. Like, that's obvious. Why is that funny?
Because you say
it's not funny. I
came off coffee and I felt love again.
That is exactly how it felt. Well, sorry for expressing myself accurately. Anyway, so I was sort of like, this is quite cool. And then the meditation, right? I went to the retreat and it was actually pretty like annoying. Like, it was overpacked. It was a bit nuts. Kept making me really sleepy and like really laughy and stuff. But what came after that was a mushroom trip, right?
Have you heard about this?
No.
Mate, it did. It's fucked.
At the retreat?
No, the day after the retreat, me and the friend that I'd made, we decided to do this like big whopping like 10 gram mushroom shake.
I know what we'll do. We'll come off coffee, just freaking cane a load of mushrooms instead.
But like, we just thought like, it just felt right? It did. So did
you have braids in your hair at the same time?
No, we did it. And mate, like, I thought I'd met this guy before, right? This was like before this whole mushroom trip thing. But we did this trip.
Shut up.
And we just felt like, right, we just want to meditate as we're doing it, because we'd been doing that. We were like, right, let's meditate.
We just saw this.
No, mate. So we were just there, just basically with our eyes closed, like down from like the side of the road.
Wait, what do you mean on the side of the road?
The side of the road. And it was just sort of like, I saw how I was feeding this part of myself with like all of the coffee. Oh, fuck, I didn't tell you as well. I got addicted to brownies and cookies, right? I got a really bad addiction whilst traveling. I was having like 5 a day, bruv. It was really bad.
That's sick.
So I went from being like really healthy to starting to feel like really fucking gross. And I realized that what I was doing with caffeine and sugar and all that chocolate stuff, like that was giving me that high, was actually feeding like this part of like me that was just keeping me like feeling like shit.
So
it's like the most middle class addiction.
I literally saw it, and it was like the more I have these things that I think are pleasuring, the more I'm actually like keeping myself like low. Okay, and then so I realized all of that as I'm having this mushroom trip, and then we fucking get taken out of our bodies. We get taken. No, mate.
In fairness, right? Listen, because I was like, when he was telling it, I was like,
this is on the side of a road.
Yeah, but
just listen, bro.
You've got to wait.
Just listen, right? So we get taken out.
They did look like junkies on the side of a road.
I got taken out of my body, right? Different dimension. And I get shown my past lives.
What?
I get shown my past lives,
I
right?
forgot that part.
And I can see that my friend who I've made is there as well, right? And I can see that he's actually in these different lives. And I'm shown how I'm holding on to different like traumas from these different lives in this one, right? And it was just sort of like, okay, we were talking and I was like, is he here? I don't know if he's actually here, but we were talking telepathically this whole time. And then we get fucking shown enlightenment, which was this big white fucking light.
God.
And it was like, that's where we all come from, right? That's literally where we all come
In
from.
reality, mate, on the side of the road, just staring at the sun.
No, mate.
Killed over.
No, it was nighttime. But yeah, so then.
Staring at the moon.
And then we got like, it was like, no, we choose to come here because we actually have a purpose to come. The only reason we've come here is for what we're experiencing, and everything that's happening is happening because that's what we wanted to come here to experience, right? That is like what we were shown. And then we came back, land in my body, and it was literally like floods of tears. And I look up and look at him, and I was like, did that just happen? Did that? And he recited it all to me. I recited it all to him. It was like, we both just experienced that. And it was like, oh my fuck, this is all just one big pantomime. We've chosen to come here when we feel like life's against us and everything's against us. Actually, it's all happening as it's meant to. And it was just like, we actually know each other we know each other, not just from, because we've met like 2 weeks ago, but I've known you before. And it was like, mate, just the tears, it was actually mental. Like,
so like someone saw
and I've written
you
it all
crying
down. I've written it all
They
down.
both experienced the same thing.
Yeah, that is kind of mad.
We're not just human beings, bruv. I need you to realize this. Like, we're not actually just human beings. We are far beyond all of this bollocks. We are just in this for a bit.
What's this bollocks?
We're here to, whatever we're here to fucking learn and experience and go through, it's obviously we're for a reason, but we're not just this human version of ourselves, and that's it. Like, and genuine, like being
aliens.
shown all of that was fucking mental.
Not aliens.
But just like there is a somewhere else. And if you look, like so many people have experienced this. There's a YouTuber that we spoke to as well. It'd be good to get him on. That's experienced a similar thing too. And I just think, like, I know you like to rubbish it off and laugh at it, but fucking hell. And it just made me realise, like, yeah.
It's a super cool experience.
Super cool, yeah.
But
would you do it? I think the only way you're ever going to believe is if we put you on a super trip.
Because that happens. A lot of people say, like, especially with DMT and stuff like that.
The last bit as well is it became so clear why the monks who we did the meditation retreat live the way they do. Because it was like, when you meditate, like, you're almost connecting to like that fucking enlightenment feeling thing that we saw. It's like you're getting as closer to that as possible. And that's what's like actually feeding you information. I know it sounds so fucking mental to you.
No, it's not.
But it's like,
I completely get what you're saying.
Made me realise why the monks meditate to get as close to that as possible, because that's who they really are. Like, this isn't who we really are.
You could have just like been sat on the road high, like staring at a moon, but because you've got all these different chemicals in your head,
that's what
you like. You know how people dream at night and like crazy things. Like you can fly, and you can't fly in real life.
Yeah, but it's the fact that me and this guy, like
some guy,
we had the exact.
You shared the same dream.
We saw the whole thing, mate.
I think that's the only weird thing. Like when Weller was telling me, I was like,
"Oh, bro."
Well, like obviously you were just like cooked off your tits, but
yeah, like if it was just me, I'd be like, "Oh, just a dream."
No, that is kind of weird how you were interconnected like that. You were crying on the side of the road. Yeah. Why were you on the side of the road?
Because we were going to just walk around and just, be on mushrooms. But like, we were like, we need to fucking sit down because it was very intense. So we were like, we need to sit down.
Shit.
But I've got a little thing that's been sent in. Obviously sent into the boys at wafflin.co. It goes, is it considered unfaithful to engage in sexual, deep or personal discussions with an AI? Especially if those conversations involve thoughts or feelings that one might typically share with a partner, right? So you're there mincing off to basically a robot, but you're having those feelings and like reactions in your body. Thoughts.
You're chatting up a robot.
Yeah, basically.
So you're gone on ChatGPT and like literally chatting up someone on ChatGPT.
What's the point?
Well, because you may get going on that. You might feel like this person understands me. And you may actually...
Yeah, but it's not a person.
But this is where it's actually like, is your perspective of what something is actually defines it? Because if I think that plant behind Theo is a naughty little minx, right? I get my knob out, right? I've got it out. And then I'm really thinking this is a person that gets me. does that now technically mean, because
No.
my mind believes that and I've convinced myself.
But isn't the whole thing of sexting is that like you know who's on the other side of the phone? Like
like that.
like he's sexting like
But this is how people get.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, but this is how people get catfished. They think that this person they're talking to is this idea of them in their head, and in reality, it's not. But that's where it's like it's whatever your idea of what
but
this
this
thing
person
is.
knows it's robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just shows that you can basically think your way to making something to be what it is.
So this guy's getting off on dirty messages, but it's just happened to be a robot.
but it's like watching anime porn. It's literally like watching porn. That is basically like feeding your imagination.
Well, no, because you're actually watching like
There's
cartoons.
something there. There's like
Yeah.
there's
You're
a
chatting.
physical
You're
entity.
basically chatting to yourself.
Yeah.
This guy needs to address
But
it.
okay, but is it unfaithful? Like, say your missus, your one is
Your one.
texting one that's a robot Joe Weller. Right?
I think
What are you doing?
No. But that
It's
that's
different.
got to be different to just if it's like
Yeah.
like Shagger's AI or something where like there's no image attached to it. It's like
AI.
whatever it's called. Like it's literally just we are speaking to a robot. There's no imagery attached to it. Like it's just you can have sexy talk with this robot.
this needs to be addressed. It needs to come clean, because if I was the other half, right, I would be like, why are you messaging a robot dirty messages instead of like me, your girlfriend?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I think if you're wanting to have that with anyone else other than your partner, there is an issue, whether it's a teapot or the plant or Luke,
Yeah.
who is a person.
Or
That surely, unless you're polyamorous and it's arranged in the agreement, surely isn't okay.
yeah, but that would still be weird.
No, this guy's got a few problems he needs to address. I think
Really?
he's chatting up a robot, mate.
Like if you came across your girlfriend's phone
Yeah.
and she had messages popping up
Yeah.
and like you saw what they said and she was like, oh, don't worry, like it's not actually a real person, like it's literally just
I'm just
AI.
practicing with ChatGPT.
Yeah, my verdict is that's not that unless it's spoken about, you can't be doing that behind their back.
Is it cheating or is it more just
I think it's a
weird?
form of emotional cheating.
Yeah,
You think-
I think it's just weird.
I do.
Cheating?
It's like, what you doing, mate?
What, so now you can
You're
cheat
chatting
on,
up a ChatGPT.
now you can cheat on someone with AI, can you?
Yeah, I think there's an emotional element to that. It's
Yeah, I
just
agree.
like this one, right? For
agree with Joe,
example, hello, you sexy fellas. When I was 8, right, well, this is a bit fucked, this one.
Right.
Just heads
Any
up.
trigger warnings?
Yeah,
or-
like a little bit of a trigger warning, but like a bit of just fucked in the head. Right. When I was 8 at school, I had a girl in my class. Right.
Who was also 8.
That I would often go to the back of the school on a dirt mound and sometimes kiss. Right. However, one day she reached down my pants and fiddled with my cock, and she would grab my...
Sorry,
Obviously, just such a liar.
Are we talking about two 8-year-olds having it off of each other?
No, we're talking about potentially a relatable situation.
Mate, he's 8.
No
He's
one has
he's
ever
lying.
No one has ever related.
Oh
to
yeah,
8-year-olds.
my girlfriend when I was 8 wanked me off in the fucking park.
This also
Didn't
happened
happen.
in class. This continued for the whole year, and I don't know how we didn't get caught, but I don't know if it was just a dream.
Yeah, it was.
And I dreamt about the whole thing, but it's so ingrained in my mind and feels so real. Can you boys relate?
Yeah, it didn't happen of the year award goes to him. All right? That was a dream. You've had a vivid dream every day for like a year straight. Oh yeah, no. An 8-year-old wanked me off in class. Okay, mate. Didn't happen.
Oh, okay. Well,
Did you-
But did you not have a little girlfriend in school? No, when you were like at primary school, I'm not saying this ever happened.
A little
But like,
girlfriend.
like, do you remember your first kiss in primary school?
Yeah, but it's different.
I used to actually write like letters, like love letters.
That's cute.
Oh, to girls.
Yeah, so I wrote like, you know, the song that goes, I said, I'm sorry, mama. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to make you cry, but tonight I'm cleaning out my closet. Right?
Is that
What-
Eminem?
Eminem. I wrote that as a love letter and said, I want to sex you. Right? Except I was about 7, maybe 9.
How do you have these like...
And I just thought that would be really romantic. But I think it just shows that like you are always learning, even from that young.
You're destined to be a creep.
No, I just always
said,
wanted
"I want to
have
sex
love."
you
I think
to a
I've always
7-year-old.
wanted love.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know how to communicate
You sent a
it.
love letter to a 7-year-old.
Yeah, they did move country after that.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Their
They
parents-
moved to Lanzarote. They know who they are. Them, they. Anyways, now we've got this one. Ready? Guten Tag, you utter mongoloids. Right?
I can't say that.
Yeah, you can.
No, because it's a quote.
You're a mongoloid. You're a bit of one. Right. Do you think you'll have kids in the near future And if not, why? Do you think you can ever truly be ready for kids, as animals don't know how reproduction works? They just act in hormones and the female gets on with the whole thing.
Apart from dolphins.
It's ingrained inside them to do it. Surely humans have the same. Also, why the fuck did Joe get his chopper out on Snapchat?
Oh, we didn't talk about that.
We haven't addressed that photo.
Did you see it?
Mate, who didn't see it?
Yeah, I've got it.
Why did you do that? You did that on
No, I
purpose.
didn't.
We can put it up, right?
Firstly, are you going to have kids? I think we should address that one first.
Well, no,
We'll come on that in a second, actually.
Oh, no!
we should probably talk about how you did
fuck.
put a picture of...
Also, why was it so small?
No, I fucked it.
It looked like a thumb.
I did fuck it, right? So basically, I got a haircut.
Yeah, so why was
Naked?
your cock out?
And then I went for a piss. I went to the toilet.
And you thought to yourself, well, my knob's out. Let's take a photo.
No. I took the photo whilst I was taking the piss because I was like, oh, this lighting's quite banging, right?
Why are you putting it downwards then?
Because I didn't think my knob was in it.
It
right?
is
so
like
then
you
I'm going for a
purposely tried
piss.
to get
like,
it in there.
No, why would I do that?
Well, it looks like it from the angle.
So I'm taking the photo and I'm like, that hair looks sick actually.
He's so in love with you.
And obviously,
it was so small you couldn't see his knob, so he didn't notice.
but realistically, I then obviously Snapchat being like my main job now, right? It pays better than YouTube, like actually mental that, by the way. So Snapchat's part of my job. I was like, what I do is I record everything the day before and just whack it all up. And this was one of the things that I whacked up.
No,
right?
because it was months ago, wasn't it?
No. I whacked it up the next day. And then next thing I know, it's been up for 24 hours. And my boxing coach goes, you realise your cock's out. He just goes, you realise your cock's out. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, what? So, yeah, your cock. And he sends me the pic. And I just see it for the first time then when it's already been out for 24 hours.
But you're probably thinking, fucking hell, these are more views than I've ever had before.
Like, it banged. I was like, what, 2,000 screenshots? Like, what's that all about? So like, it was a banging haircut, but like, fuck me. And then like, yeah, next thing I know, like it's on the rounds on Twitter, like 5 million views.
Twitter was doing the rounds. That's where I saw it first.
And I just like, I've never mentioned anything. And then people think that, oh, it must be fake or he's done it on purpose. But isn't that mental? Like you can put a photo out of your knob and it's just like, now that's out there forever.
I'm sure Snapchat loved it.
Yeah, it didn't even get marked as like unsuitable.
Yeah, because it's so small, mate. People didn't realise.
It did look very small, but
I don't understand.
The angle. It was like the
can't-
fact that it's high up.
For the life of me, right, I would not take a selfie just like with my knob out.
Yeah.
They do it all the time. You know, like if you were like out with
all the time. Why?
out with the boys, right? So you're out with the boys, and you are maybe like going for a piss at a urinal.
Wiener.
Because sometimes there's good lighting.
Who takes a photo at a urinal?
Yeah.
No
Just
one.
don't do that.
Okay, well, I thought it would be funny.
Is it because you got the curtains recently and you thought, oh,
Yeah, what are you saying? What do we reckon about the new haircut, by the way?
made in Chelsea? I like it.
Made in Chelsea.
It actually it suits
It suits you. It does suit you.
You know, and
Suits
it's
the
nice
new
because
Tory.
you had the same haircut since
Yeah.
like year 10, maybe.
No.
And like now you've actually done something
It
different.
shows signs of growth.
Signs of growth.
But going back to the kids thing, right?
Yeah, you touch.
You're never. That's rich.
You got.
Yeah, but
Yeah, go on then, Malfoy.
no one gets that.
It's like joke.
What? You can't? Get your knob out.
That's what you did, though. No one's ever ready for children, I don't think. So you have to learn on the job. You have to learn on the job. But what I want to know is, obviously, Luke, for the last 2 years, you've been a bin man.
Why? What? So you don't even want to ask me if
I want to know what you've been doing and where is the kids that you are apparently ready for and where is the proposal? Because
just to confirm, I've never said that I'm ready for kids. My mum is going to be watching this, and she'll get really excited if you say something.
Anyways, yeah, what was the question?
You want to know what I was? What I've
bin
been-
man, what's he been up?
Well, after Wafflin stopped, obviously.
We just discussed you.
Okay.
Then we moved on.
Oh, he wants it all to be about.
No, I don't. No, I was just like,
Should we go back to
what we
talking to you, should we?
No, I was
We'll
wondering
talk
what
about
the
you.
question is. It was just sort of like we were talking about people's, I don't know, mums and shit.
No,
What was it?
having.
Well, I wanted to address where Luke has been for the last 2.5
Yeah.
years.
Okay.
10-year relationship, no proposal.
Yeah, that's
and
weird.
You must be ready for kids.
Yeah.
All right. So number one, after Wafflin stopped, I took about a year off.
Yeah.
I went out to Australia, went to Bali, wanted to meet you, but you had Bali belly.
It set you up for a year. That's kind of sick.
No, Wafflin did bits.
Yeah,
you know what? And like,
Wow.
then I started my own business in marketing with a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been doing in the meantime. Am I ready for kids? probably not just yet, but
Are you scared of commitment?
Do you know what it is, right? The marriage thing.
Yeah.
It's genuinely more of what I don't want to do is propose to Ruth and then us have to wait like 5-6 years to get married. Like, I would do it when we're ready to like be able to pay for a sick wedding and everything.
I think you'll get married before Luke.
You reckon?
Yeah. I
Maybe.
think you have found the right match and you're ready for the commitment.
No, it's not a commitment thing. Like,
No, all right, mate. But I think that you have been through your life and have got to the stage where now you're ready for this. You want this.
Yeah.
Whereas you're not ready for this.
I do find it convenient though, how like I went through, like learned all this stuff away while like traveling and whatnot, like found like a sense of almost like peace with myself. And then like a girl that if I was in the way that I was before came along, if she came along then I wouldn't have been ready. But it's almost like she came along at the right time.
Perfect moment.
And that's where I'm like, do things happen exactly when they're meant to? And I do actually believe so. Hence like Wafflin coming back at the perfect time.
Everything that can happen will happen.
What about this one? Hey boys, so glad to hear that things are in the works. Now I have a dilemma. I'm freshly out of a 3-year relationship, but I've just met a woman who ticks all the boxes. I want to have my sexy shagger era, but can't help but to be drawn to this absolute specimen. Should I hold out on starting something new and try get around, or stick with this beautiful washer mash in until things don't feel right? In other words, do you think it's worth potentially losing this woman for experiences that are rooted in more lustful / shallow perspectives?
No, because if he thinks he's found the one, then why would you not just go with it?
And I'm
still gonna have sex with her.
I've like literally never understood, and I know everyone's different, the desire to go and do loads of shit with like random people.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you meet someone that you actually really like, surely it makes so much more sense to dedicate your time to them other than like going on nights out and hoping that you go home with some random.
Well, this is the thing. I think there can be, I don't know whether it's derived from like pornography from early days, but where there's so much like category, there's so much, your brain can think like, why would I go with this one person when there's a whole plethora potentially out there, right? That's what the brain can do. And maybe it's like the grass is greener. Like, how do I know for sure that there's not better?
How old is he?
Don't know.
Well, I guess it does depend on
when
your age.
they're younger as well, maybe they're like, they need to see from themselves that that's not actually realistic. And like, when you find that love, it's worth watering a plant that has a beautiful seed than potentially just, that plant's all right. And then that plant's all right. Just, you know what I mean? I feel like the grass is greener where you water it.
Why are we in this era where like we feel like we have to test everything?
Very demure.
Like, when did your grandparents meet each other? How old are they? Have they been out?
I don't know.
Gagging about?
I don't know.
But they would have been together since they were like 18, 19. All of a sudden, like, we're in this thing. Think of Love Island, where it's like, like, we have to be put to the test. What the hell's a test all about? Have you and Jodie ever been put for a test?
That's what I think. I think the old-fashioned love of like you committing to one another. Like, people are so scared of commitment nowadays because, like, firstly, the potential of getting hurt, but also because where we have such access to the world and so many people, it's like people in our minds are like replaceable. There's temptations anyway. You can't go on Twitter now without seeing porn or another woman that you're essentially like having sexual thoughts about. It's like, it's actually fucked. And we're only meant to really be living in like communities of like 12 people. And like, when you find no, but it's true, like fucking caveman times and that, like, it is actually true. So yeah, it's unnatural, the exposure that we have to so many people. And that, I think, causes this whole like, there's better elsewhere sort of mentality.
How would you think the dating scene would be if everyone was naked?
I reckon it would become a lot more normalized. Like, you wouldn't like, for example, there's African tribes where people, like, the women just have their breasts out all the time, right?
Breasts.
So even just like, or even, why is that funny?
Because you're being so like polite about it.
Oh, hello. No, but they have a bloody big jubbly tits out. What would you want me to say, cuz? And what I mean? But like, basically, I think it would become like, it's just a body part. It wouldn't be this like, oh my God sort of thing. But at the same time, would it? Because we are drawn to certain areas and certain body parts. Like, you see, like, why is it the idea of like,
big, very
of like the vagina gets you going? Why does it get you going?
Really?
It's just a piece of flesh and blood. And it's actually, if you think about it, all our body parts are just another body parts. They're a bit gross.
Just veins.
Is that the body part that gets you going?
No, but if you... Like, what, does it not? What, vaginas don't get you
No,
going?
but like specifically that, would you pick that or would you be like, maybe it's the arse, maybe it's the tits or...
No, but it's in like, okay,
I know it's a bit grotesque, but like...
A sexual body part, like...
The vagina.
Okay, yes, the vagina is one of the things that would get me as a man, a heterosexual male going.
The reason I bring this up, Joe, is because I don't know if you've seen...
What do you mean?
I don't know if you've seen the new show on TV at the moment. It's on Paramount or something. It's Love Island. But
brand new show.
But they're all just naked.
What?
I've heard
Have you not seen
it?
It's fucking crazy.
Really?
I haven't watched it.
You gonna go on it? Would you go on something like that if you were single?
Absolutely no way.
Why?
What? Once if it gets cold?
You small knob.
Well, yeah, if it gets cold.
Is that the only
Have you not seen it, mate?
No, I've heard
Everything
about
is
it.
out. They go horse riding. They just sit there like this.
Poor horse.
Mate, it's mental. They're riding a horse naked with their flaps out. It's crazy.
Because the horse has no say in that.
Yeah, it's true.
That's the thing. Like, I do get asked, like, would you go on like Love
It's
Island?
quite interesting. Would you go on that? Like naked?
Would you go on naked Love
For
Island?
me, I just feel like love's not a game.
Oh.
Now, and this is why I think like
Why is that? Why is that?
But
that
naked,
reaction?
because naked Love Island means that you would have to think how much, like, you would have to like really think, like, you just go get a boner. What are you gonna do?
What
you
difference does it make?
Because it forces you to look at them in the eyes and really learn their personality. Imagine you're just sat there talking.
How does it force you to learn their personality?
Because there's so many naked bodies around you, you get so used to seeing naked bodies. So after a week or something, it becomes just numb to you.
Yeah, but if you went on like a coffee date, surely you're still forced to learn about their personality.
Fine. Okay, fine. You should definitely watch the show.
Mate, we're getting some pictures up here.
What is this? Naked Love Island.
Yeah, Ryland's the host.
Yeah, like people I think would do anything, but it did make me realise that like, I think like life in general, I struggled to see it as you know, like what I'm saying is like on inside where that was a game. My mind couldn't separate that from being a game and show and real life.
Do you remember that voice note you sent?
What was it?
Because Castillo voted you out, didn't he? And you were like, he was like a brother to me.
Okay, Castillo didn't vote me out.
Who was it? You said someone.
Castillo spent money behind.
Oh yeah,
back.
that was it. That was it. And he lied.
He's like a brother to me, man.
He was.
So you went on a game show, you got deceived, and then you were surprised.
Yeah, like maybe I'm a bit naive, but like
I feel like no, Inside was different though, because I feel like the core YouTube lot are very real, whereas you were not just with core, you were with like Instagrammers and people from Love Island.
Yeah, but nonetheless, it was a game show where you had to win money. Like it was gonna be.
But it means more.
But we didn't know how you actually won that money. So it would be like, is it that who is the most genuine person? Is it who's deceiving each other? Is it being good in the challenges? Or what? We didn't realise that you'd actually get voted out by each other. That was sprung upon us. And that we were told by the sidemen afterwards, I went out, they were like, mate, we're literally making this up as we go. We're listening into what you're saying, and then we're just like inventing things on the spot.
I think that's better to do it that way though, because then rather than having like you must do this and whatever.
I did think though that like, I think a public vote would have been better, but they obviously, where it was pre-recorded, like they couldn't have just...
Was it because you got
the first season as well, you got to pilot it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, part of me was like, to be fair, the people that voted me out, like, I probably wouldn't get on with, I didn't really align with them outside, so I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
And also, like, Leah getting voted out second, I'm like, are they voting out people that potentially may have had a chance of winning if it was a public vote? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
Because, I mean, there was like riots when you got voted out, and then when she got voted out, like, it just got even worse.
Yeah, you two were the fan favourites for sure.
Yeah,
Did you want to discuss anything about that? Or would
we can discuss Inside.
You obviously got into... The main thing about Inside is you got into a little bit of beef with someone. Yeah, a bit... What?
Mamrika. You know the...
That was crazy, yeah.
Well, let's go through it for people that don't know, because I'm sure not everyone watched Inside.
Okay, we can roll the clip. We can roll it.
You seen someone, mate?
Yeah, we see him.
Hey! He's having a baby. He's having a baby. Oh, Joanna.
She's defo letting someone else bruise her esophagus while you're in here.
So yeah, basically, we're all just sat around there. I think previous to this, like when people were talking about what they were missing from the outside and stuff, like I did mention the girl I was seeing, and I think it got brought up. We were all sat around on the sofa, and actually can't fucking remember, but I know it was something along the lines of me talking about wanting to FaceTime her, and Mamrika just goes, "Oh, I bet she's getting like her esophagus is getting bruised by someone else right now." And it was just like
so savage.
The whole room just like erupted, and I was it was very much out of nowhere, and it was like, I haven't had a single conversation with you yet. Like, that's a bit mad to just say, like, if you think that we're like that, like our relationship's like that sort of thing.
In the way it was said as well, like, I mean, we're like really good friends, and I would never say something. There's banter, like you could say something along.
It's where it's like it's not actually like that good a banter. It's not really funny.
No, it's not.
It's like what is the objective of saying that? Like deep down, like what's the reason?
And it was like kind of vulgar. Like, do you know what I mean?
Like, especially if you're a girl as well. Like you're talking about another girl that you don't know. Like, why? What brings you to say that? And obviously, I find out. Obviously, that all erupts and whatever. We'll go into it. But I did find out the next day that she apparently had an issue with an ex-boyfriend that was very public, that was very like violent and very like basically a very bad relationship. And I wondered whether me talking about a positive situation with a girl, about someone that I cared about, was a bit triggering. And maybe it was like she wanted to like bring me down or like, it's too good to be true. She's probably getting fucking done by someone else
also,
right now.
Sometimes people do blurt shit out without thinking.
But it's got to come from somewhere, bruv. Like, you know what I mean? That's you wouldn't get the urge to say that for no reason. Do you know what I mean? But
it was like quite out of nowhere. And obviously then you went into the little diary room or whatever it is.
Yeah, I got called instantly. They were like, "Joe Weller to room 19, please." And I was like, right, here we go. And obviously I'm just there, like obviously trying to make whatever I can out of it. And she's listening in. She's made it come out of her way to like listen in, to hear what I'm saying, and thinks that I'm like chatting shit. And yeah, like when I came out of that room,
she said that there was a moment off camera or something where she actually like apologized to you and you had a proper chat. I've seen clips of that. Like what? Because all we saw was the bit where I think you come out of the diary room, or it's a little bit later where you're like, oh yeah, like it's cool, like don't worry or whatever, and then you walk off and then she like puts like two fingers up behind your back.
No, I did that to her. So she comes in and just goes, like basically tells me that like I shouldn't feel the way I'm feeling sort of thing, and like tells me that it was just a joke and it's like whatever. And I just was like, yeah, that's not acceptable. Like that, just like our relationship is not that yet. I don't even know you. Like that's just, I'm not going to allow you to sort of say that sort of thing. Well, I say allow, like I didn't really react. And I didn't want to give her a reaction. I will say that. Like I didn't want to just, people said, oh, old Joe Weller would have erupted and like absolutely ruined her. But I was like, mate, I'm just,
not worth it.
You know, I'm not going to fucking rise to that bollocks. Well, I don't know. It's just like me nowadays. I was like, if I sit here and show that I'm triggered and angry by you, then you've got to me. I'm just going to be like, whatever. If you've got what you wanted, the attention, the fucking everyone going crazy, well done. If that's what you were doing it for. But, yeah, I didn't just accept her token apology sort of thing. I was just sort of like, yeah, that's not okay. But later on, I was like, let me take it, because it became a real issue in the house. There was this big divide. I was like, I'm just going to go over to her and just pull her aside and be like, look, let's just fucking squash this.
Yeah.
And I don't know what would have happened if I didn't do that, but I don't think they showed that on the show.
And did that actually squash it? Like, were you like, I know obviously you
become like, it's civil, you're not going to be friends.
Yeah, it squashed it and made it civil. And then I find it funny that then she still then voted me out. I didn't vote her out, but she still voted me out, and then her friend still voted me out. So it was like, oh, it's not squashed then, or whatever. Or are you worried that I'm going to come across better than you? So you're still just, I don't know. It was weird, but it made me realize that fucking hell, there are people of different kinds. Like it's easy to think that people think like you and have the same morals and values as you, but it's really not the case. And even Angry Ginge was like, mate, you're going to come across as soft there. You're going to come across as like, you can't take banter. Because up north, that sort of banter, like we'd say that all the time to each other.
But on a more positive note, you did get on well with a few people in there.
Yeah.
Ginge.
Yeah, Ginge was good. Obviously Castillo, like number one. Like Nife, yeah, like I'd known her before. It was just good to be, I think, like see the Sidemen boys again. Like that was almost like,
of course you saw them like
because they reached out, like while I was in Sri Lanka traveling, I got a call just being like, the Sidemen want you to be on this show, and I was like, what?
But I'm in Sri Lanka.
I was just like, that's kind of like feels a bit out of nowhere, but like it was actually like quite nice that like they were engaging and like wanted me to be involved. And it was like coming back on, being on it, and then like being the first one out so that it was just me and them for a little bit. Like the rest of that day, just sort of like saw them, laughed and joked. It was like, fucking hell, what have we been waiting for?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was actually like really wholesome and just, yeah, it's like I recorded with Deji recently and it was just like such a wholesome, like fun, like me and him got on really well, like amazing chemistry. And I think it's so easy, like online, how personalities come across and this like ego and whatnot, to interpret that as what people are actually like. But then you see them in real life and it's like, oh wait, we just get along and we're all in the same boat. We're all in this weird social media world where there's all this crazy judgment. You don't know what to trust, what not to, and it's very overwhelming. But we are all in the same boat and we do all get it. And I think like, yeah, whenever I've seen them now, it's just like, fuck, we're actually just so
everyone's
sound.
older and everyone wants to help everyone. I feel like everyone is just in that boat of, I help you, you help me, or we help each other. We grow the UK space.
Yeah, it's very wholesome. And yeah, like now I'm filming with Deji in 5 days, filming with Chris MD at the end of the month. Like obviously been in other Sidemen videos.
I'll be there.
Like Wafflin's back. Like it's just sort of like, yeah, the idea that, you know, there was this time where it was all just like fighting, boxing, fighting. And that's a little bit what put me off again, like making me realize I don't want to just be like fighting people. And again, I don't actually have an issue with
Love is love.
anyone. I actually want to just get on with people.
Yeah.
Right, we've got another question. Right? Hi, boys. On a recent night out with the lads, one of our friends has been getting rather touchy with the fellow boys after he's had a few drinks. He claims he's not homosexual. Right? Is this sent in by Luke Martin? I think it might be. But we're starting to question this as time goes on. We wouldn't have a problem with him if he was gay.
Obviously.
But we just want him to feel as though he can tell us about his sexual preferences and talk freely to us about how he feels. Any tips apart from his? Cheers, boys. Theo, you're still offside, mate. What? I don't even know. But
look, we have a prime example of one right here. Right?
Yeah, look at him. Look
You're
at his
straight.
jumper.
On nights out,
You
Luke,
told me to wear.
It is
you
quite
do
cool.
get very frisking.
You
kissy.
do start doing that.
It's like Tom Garrett as well.
No, I just.
It is. He wanks boys
Right,
off.
to confirm, I've never.
But he's straight.
I
and I've
never-
seen his knob many times on nights
No,
out.
but I
And
have
I've
never.
seen inside his bumhole.
I have never.
What?
What?
I've also never wanked off one of the boys just to
But
confirm.
you kiss
that.
them a lot.
You do. And
Well,
it made, okay, basically, this made me think about, right, I
like a pet.
made a friend over summer. Right? And he does something called a bubbly.
Oh.
You heard of a bubbly?
On you?
Has anyone heard what one is?
No, what is it?
Right, so basically, right, it's where like he would get a bit drunk, and apparently it's something that they do on the yacht, like he works on a boat, and it was where like you'd basically like piss in your own mouth.
Sorry, if you had to tell me to guess what a bubbly was, I would never have guessed that.
But then he goes
it
like,
'cause it's
mate,
like
it's
champagne?
really addictive. Like once you do it, like you seems like the weirdest thing ever. And, mate, when he first said it, I was like, are you fucking mental?
No.
Right?
No.
Right, no way. What? No, so basically
No, you didn't try it.
So he did it.
No.
Right. And then Elliot did it. I did it. But then I did it. Right? I did it one time. Right? I did it only one time. But and then because
No.
it made you feel part of something.
No, stop it. You were sat in a circle pissing
Not in a
your own mouth.
circle.
You
Not in a
sat naked in a circle
we went on a-
with three boys.
No, we went
pissing
rowing.
in your-
We went rowing,
You
bro.
So Elliot was sat behind you in the fucking canoe. Well, you're sat there going,
No. Right? The video that he showed me, this friend that I made, right? The video that he showed me the first
Jeffrey
time.
Epstein, mate.
The video that he showed me, he was full on just holding it there and doing it, and everyone was crowding around, and I was like, well, this is the weirdest thing ever. But then it becomes this ceremonial thing.
No, you're
and we went rowing.
This is a wind up.
Right, so when we went rowing, right, we went jumping off of this bridge into water, and it kind of felt right to do it at the top. So he did it up there.
No, it didn't.
Right, so he did up there.
It never felt right.
And then
It never felt
when we
right.
said goodbye at the end of summer, right, he went back working. We all stood in a line at the side of the road and did a bubbly.
That's the most fucked up thing I have ever heard. You wank.
No,
in your-
not wank.
You wank in
We
your
didn't
dad's
wank.
van on the road.
Okay, I did
alright?
do that. I did. Yes, I did do that.
This, what you've just said, is more fucked up.
No,
That's
it's not.
no, that's the most fucked up thing you've
Mate,
ever done.
what are you on about? You're sat on a bridge,
No, I think
you're
it's
standing on a bridge with your two mates, getting your knobs out, pissing in your own mouth. Sorry.
Wait, what happened? You're on this bridge. Are you laying down?
What?
No,
How
no.
do you think that's just like
No,
fine
it's fucked.
to do?
No, I think it's so fucked because what's really annoying?
Well, you did it twice.
No one
did
even
it. Just do
asked
it once.
Listen
Did
to me
it
right
twice.
now. Right, what is difficult is that when my first reaction was like, this is the most fucked up thing ever, but now it seems like I think it's cool, and it's actually not. I know it's fucked, right? It's really bad, and I actually like, I don't know how it got to that point, but it just did because it just felt right.
You know that scene in Saltburn when he gets in the bath and starts sucking on the cup?
Slurping that up. Ugh.
That's up there with that.
No, it's fucked, mate.
No, but can you?
Did you have a Saltburn Summer?
No.
Can you talk us through what on this bridge?
So are you all naked?
Okay.
Are you all naked or is your
No.
knob
It's
just,
like just going for a piss. No, you're going for a piss, and then like you obviously start like pointing it upwards, so then and then you sort of like. Oh, it's fucked. No, it's actually fucked. No, I just want to like emphasize as well.
Literally.
Like, I'm not that sort of person at all.
You are though, aren't
No,
you?
I'm not.
You are.
No, I'm
You did
actually
it
not.
twice.
No, I'm not.
You did it once as like experiment to let you off.
No,
right?
I've only done
And
it
then-
one time.
no
And it
one
was just to
asked
say
as
goodbye.
well.
No, you said you did it once, then did it
But
again
it
to
just
someone
made
on the
me
bridge.
think like, and
Made you think
So
about
what moving
what?
on from this?
Like,
Yeah.
So to
why
piss in
did you
your own
do it?
mouth, are you like, is
no,
it
but
going
I'm
over your
not that
face?
sort of guy.
And do you swallow it?
No,
Yes,
no, you don't.
you do.
I'm actually not that person.
No, but
I
you
was
are, though.
reporting on this person does this, and apparently it's a tradition.
So when you-
at their workplace,
So,
Where does
they do it on the boat.
so can I
They
ask
work-
you?
they
so
work
can
on
I,
a
let me
boat.
ask you, like practically, right? To piss
fuck.
up there, surely you need like a boner or something. It's
No,
quite hard to like.
No, you don't.
No, because
don't.
you can angle your cock up.
Yeah, but what? So you're pissing all over your shirt?
No.
Your face.
In the video,
goes
that
in
he
your
showed,
eye.
He did do that. Right, he did do that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
Did you have to take your top off though, so you wouldn't get it
No,
on your top?
no. You just sort of touch it a little bit with your tongue. Oh, it's fucked.
What,
No,
the-
I'm being judged.
So
Oh,
it
no,
doesn't
no.
it doesn't fill up your mouth.
No, I didn't do
So you're
that.
like licking it.
No, when he did it, it was sort of like, look into his mouth. Oh, it's actually fucked.
So
That's
did you
really
make sure?
Embarrassing.
Did you make sure you drink a load of water?
No, I did.
beforehand?
I literally slightly touched.
Basically water.
I touched it slightly.
His piss?
No, myself. Oh no, I've really embarrassed myself now. This was meant to sound like a funny story about this person, but now I've just made I seem like a fucked
You
in the
brought
head
up
person.
bubbly. We didn't bring up bubbly.
It's not even related to the question.
It's not. It's related. Oh yeah, it's just irrelevant. So irrelevant. Why have I brought
Can I
that
ask,
up?
like, you know, when the stuff like this
Oh,
happens,
go on
right?
then. What?
I just wouldn't do that. Like, I know
No,
you think,
neither
like,
would
but in the
I.
moment we were on the bridge, we were about to sacrifice ourselves to the
There's
bridge.
no moment where
Like,
that's right.
No, it's not.
What made you do that?
No, I don't
Did you
know.
feel the peer pressure?
No,
Did
no.
Elliot do it and say, "Oh, mate, it's actually class. You should do it"?
No. It just sort of became this thing, and then like the geezer was like, "Right, look, trust me, it'll
great.
become this thing that you like can't help but like end up doing." And I bet there's people watching right now that are like taking the piss, like, "Oh my god, well as fucked." Now when they're out with their mates, like on a night out, and they're a bit smashed. I don't even drink. That's the thing. Like I was sober, but like.
It's even worse. Wait, so
Like
when,
they're gonna end up now all pissing up piss alley because I know you have a piss alley, right? And then you're gonna pretend to like do it upwards towards your mouth, and then instead of like not doing it, one time you just one of you's just gonna do it,
Okay.
and then everyone's gonna cheer.
Let me ask you this.
and then you're all gonna start doing it.
when
not gonna
you
happen.
wake up with an erection,
I didn't have a
when you
rod
wake
on.
up with an erection in your bedroom at home on your own, right? And you go for a wee, and you know it's like really hard to get in the toilet.
Yeah.
You now just do it. Oh, fuck it.
No, I've never done it by myself.
Or about in the shower where it's cleaner. You've done it in the shower. Oh
No,
my
you wee
God.
on your girlfriend though in the shower.
No, he does.
No, yeah, that's.
But would you
fine.
drink your wee in the shower?
Whoa.
No.
but not in a second.
We do it tonight.
I might give it a go.
We
Is that really wrong?
It's like, this is what he said. It becomes addictive. Now you're like, yeah, maybe I will give it a go in the shower. And then you'll be like, oh, maybe I'll give it a go at like my girlfriend's home. And
you
then you'll get an
addicted to
urge to
piss
do it at
now?
different places.
No, I'm not addicted to piss. No, I
Wait,
just
oh,
like what's
coffee?
down his top. What are you doing? You
spurting out
just
water.
went to the toilet. You come back like that.
Yeah, spread out water.
You're doing bubbly, mate.
So you got to
trust.
over the
You're
last
all going to
2
be doing
years.
bubblies, and it's actually going to become this thing.
Wait, if anyone
do you
has
do
done
this with
one-
your wee?
What? No, we don't do that. I bet, like, give it a year, we're gonna have merchandise that says bubbly on it.
If anyone
Guaranteed.
anyone
silhouette
listening
of the-
has done it, email in and let us know. DM us on the
like,
Instagram.
yeah, like, do you do
Tweet us.
bubblies?
Be on, all right, this is your time to be open with us,
Oh,
all right?
fuck's
In the
sake.
last 2.5 years since Wafflin ended,
What?
you've been addicted to coffee, cookies,
Anymore.
brownies, and pissing in your mouth.
Not addicted. Addicted. I didn't want to-
Anything else you want to come clean with?
Not really. Like I've actually like I'll be real. Like I know it seems not so, but like I actually have become a lot more wholesome.
No, I'll tell you what. You know Tommy the barber. He actually said that. He said, "Well, it's really mellowed out." You know,
Maybe it is the piss in the mouth.
But I know, like
Bubbly's help.
part of me wants to say, "Oh yeah, I'm this fucking weirdo, and maybe I'll always be that." Jane, your name, like that's never going to leave me.
would you let Theo piss in your mouth?
No,
Okay,
but
strictly.
I
your
do
own.
like to think that there's elements of me that where I do feel like my enjoyment of life have altered. What are you laughing at?
Oh, it's a pissing in your mouth.
No.
But you now know, on a legit thing though, you now know that when push comes to shove, all right, in a survival instinct, you know that you can drink your piss.
I just think, right, anything is all actually just atoms, right? Right? If you think about it, right, what is anything? We have these preconceived ideas of, oh, that's dirty or that's clean. It's all just the same thing if you think about it, just a bunch of atoms, right? And actually, there's, like, we're actually meant to be exposed to different bacteria to improve our immune system.
Hey, would you let your girlfriend shit on your chest?
Yeah, would you do it with shit?
No,
then?
I don't like that concept. And I often struggle.
just
I've said
atoms.
before,
Just atoms.
I've said before
It's just
that
atoms.
I struggle with like not thinking that we're just full of blood and guts.
And poo.
Yeah, and all of that. Like we're currently all full of sick. That's gross, isn't it? I know that's vile to hear right now. But like, yeah, we've all eaten. And that, what do you think when you throw up? You know what I mean? We're all just full of that constantly. Like you think, like someone's really gorgeous, they're lovely. No, they're just all of that stuff.
And then do fat, dirty shit.
But ultimately,
Don't say stuff.
Like your girlfriend does fat, vile poos.
Well,
but it's just facts in it. And I think you just have to separate that and just not be grossed out by anything because nothing is neither good nor bad.
So if you can drink...
That's not true.
What do you mean?
Pissing in your own
Big
mouth
cock out.
is bad.
If you can legit handle your own piss, surely you can handle your girlfriend's piss in your mouth.
I would.
I would rather probably Ruth's piss in my mouth than my piss.
Yeah, but you'd rather like piss in your own house than in the garden.
Yes, obviously.
No, mate, pissing in the garden, I'll do that to this day, right? There's nothing, there's nothing like...
Mate, of course he does. You don't want to get it all over his sofa, does he?
Wait, there's nothing like looking up at the stars, right? I look at the stars and there's always the same three that I talk to, right? So I talk to them and I go for a wee in the plants in my garden. I go in the garden and my girlfriend will be sat indoors and I'll be like, I'm going for a garden.
Thinking, like, who the fuck is this freak show?
No.
Mate? He's talking to the
She
sky.
understands me.
He's talking to the sky at night with his piss going in his face. I love you, sky.
No, it's an enjoyable thing. I don't do that.
Does she know about the bubbly?
No, not yet.
Does now.
No, because that's a recent thing, and I didn't want to break that over FaceTime. I wanted to say that in real life. She's been away, but yeah, basically, I've been bowling a lot recently. I'm getting quite good at it. Do you want a game?
Did you have to use the ladder thing?
No, I get strikes. I'm fucking good at it. I'll beat any of you.
You could
Come on,
down,
cuz.
Come down to 10 pin it.
Come 10 pin Tuesdays.
Do you have a membership?
I don't have a membership. It's £6.50 on a Tuesday. Half price everything.
But your own
including-
bowling shoes, yeah.
No. No, I don't.
You're glad to be back.
I'm glad to
Glad
be back.
you've-
No, I'll be real. Like I've actually missed like this is borderline therapy. Like being able to just talk openly and honestly. Like you do actually miss it, and I think it's actually gonna be quite powerful, especially having guests of different kinds on.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna eventually we're gonna be improved human beings, and it's gonna actually improve our day to day. Like people say when they meet us and be like, "Mate, Wafflin helps me in many ways." I think it actually helps us in many ways as well. And
I think
just like you know,
if you think you're a bit different and you watch this program and listen to someone saying they piss in their own mouth, I think you think to yourself, there's other people out there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I feel like we're
Everyone's
relatable.
different in their own way.
And I feel like I've missed spending time with you boys. We have spoke like a lot. I'd say we would, since Wafflin ended, we still probably spoke like at least once a week about something. But actually like...
It's just lying.
Did we not?
I don't think so.
I think they went a good year without one message.
Yeah.
Joke.
Like just
Really?
to touch on it very, very, very briefly. And what have you been up to?
Working non-stop.
Like you are a workaholic nowadays. Like you have like however many podcasts. You're always working.
Your hair's
I'm
falling
like,
out.
because part of me thinks like, where I'm like, part of me is like, I've made every YouTube video I want to make. Like I've completed it almost. Like what keeps you? No, but in my mind, like part of me like,
Completed it, mate, YouTube.
No,
Fucking Jay.
no, fuck off. Part of me is like, you know, just making videos to get views, and he gives like.
I make
shit.
videos that I
Like,
really want to make on my main channel now.
But is it like, what happens when you get to the point that you've made everything you want to make? Like,
There's
what?
always something out there. To
Okay,
make you
but-
like.
Yeah, but also, this
I'm
is
just trying to
when-
get what gets you going. Like, what do
my
you get
main
off to?
channel, I really enjoying the like. Not I've done loads, but like, I'm enjoying these like feats of humans.
Yeah, like what your Iron Man stuff.
Yeah, I enjoyed pushing the limits. I really want to get back into football, which I'm now focusing on.
Yeah.
Then I want to do cool videos.
Do you want to come
that-
play for my team?
No, but then I do cool videos that involve me challenging myself, like this marathon one I told you about,
Yeah.
which will come out next year because I need to wait for it to get hot. But like, I want to do cool shit.
And also,
Yeah.
like, at the same time, like, it's Theo's job. Like, sometimes he's probably not going to want to turn up and do something, but like, you just got to do it. You know, I'm sure there's going to be like days where we're like, oh, I'm not feeling this, but come on, boys, let's get in there and smash it. Bring
I've
the
definitely
vibe.
noticed in the last like 6 to 8 weeks, the content has definitely slowed down just because of the training. But I think after the Ironman, it's going to ramp. I'm excited to start doing it again.
Yeah, I
Making
suppose
videos I
one
wanna
thing
make.
leads to another. Like I'm someone personally, not to make this all about me again, but do I do that a lot?
Nah.
I do that all the time.
We
don't
should
I?
call it Wafflin by Joe Weller again.
But like personally, like until I've got proof in the pudding of something, my brain relates things to what I've already done. So where like trying something new, because you haven't got scope of actually what that's going to make you feel like once you've completed it, it's, yeah, basically what I'm saying is that like, I think experimenting with new stuff, like you've gone and hired people and then experimented with new stuff and found like, oh wait, this is how I want to do things moving forward. And I think in my mind, I'm like, start waffling. This is a new way of doing things, uncharted territory,
Brick by
putting
brick.
trust in different people. I'm hoping that then this may lead to me then maybe realizing how I might want to do my own career
Brick,
moving forward and
brick.
actually be more like Theo Baker.
Yeah, what I will say, Malfoy, is in the last 2 years, like, you've had a big glow up. You've become like
You're
incredibly
like, you're fucking
successful.
sexy, mate.
And now you're like, you know, you think back to your roots. Like I said,
Tiny
I
cock,
watched your
no friends, no hair.
I watched your first ever video a couple of weeks ago, like I said. And then the level you're at now is very...
Mate, it's actually inspirational. I will say, like, the fact that you're like, you've got a system in place, like you've built an empire,
Yeah.
the Malfoy Productions empire. And it's actually really impressive, like straight up.
Kind of crazy though, because me, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like we're only just getting started.
Oh, mate, that's beautiful.
Yeah, but and that's
You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
like the best part.
I actually am. Obviously, the hip is still a few issues with football and stuff, but I've started kicking again with my right foot, which is a big positive.
You fighting?
No. Just in terms of like physically, like if I never got that hip surgery, I
Yeah.
never would have done gym. I never would have done high rocks, never done all these
Yeah.
different things. Like that kick started this different venture away from football.
Yeah.
Still visiting football, but we go different. Life's all about choosing avenues and
So you don't want to
pathways.
come play for Barkham?
No.
I do think life as well is moments, right? You can't expect that it's always going to be.
Easy sailing.
And I think how quick life is, right? We forget that life's actually quite slow, right? If
Very.
you look at things like how long it takes to build muscle, how long it takes to grow a plant, how long actually things take to do their process,
Yeah.
where we're so used to things being instant, we get impatient as fuck and think that we should have one thing's all figured out right now. And if I can't, then I need to stress and think about it until it happens. But in reality, like if it's not happening, if it's not coming right now, it's obviously not meant to happen yet. And I think that's the biggest thing that like, I don't say like the meditation stuff, but like that I learned from all of that bollocks. It's like to actually allow and let things be rather than think you have to constantly think and come up with stuff and force it when you want it immediately.
I agree.
So
You're also very fit now as well, aren't you?
I'm very fucking fit.
Yeah.
Me
Good
too.
cyclist.
Mate, after 2 years ago when I did that Ironman, I got well like chubby and fat and just like binged out. Not happening this time. We go levels upon levels.
Do you like not like I'd say I go from like one extreme to the other. Like sometimes I like just being like, oh fuck it. Like so I feel like sometimes sticking to like a diet and a routine can actually become more of a task in itself. Like sometimes I like a couple of weeks where I actually just fuck everything off.
Well, yeah, I mean it is healthy too. I think like
all in moderation.
I've borderline like had a bit of like an eating weird. When I say like, I don't know if this be like triggering in any way, so just a heads up. But like borderline eating disorder at times when like
Triple cheese.
when it's like I'm so like when you're on camera,
true, yeah.
yeah, like there's been times where I've like completely let myself go. And like, obviously the comments are like, fucking hell, Weller looks shit now or whatever. And like, I see just in myself, they're like, fuck, that's not how I want to represent myself. I want to feel like I'm looking after myself, healthy and all of that. It's like almost, I have a phobia of the idea of portraying myself in that way that like, I'm like, I want to look lean, I want to look sharp, I want to look healthy, that I'll like accidentally deprive myself of enough food. And like, oh my God, you feel it. You actually I'll lose my testosterone will go, my drive will go, and it's actually really toxic and unhealthy. But being on camera, it's like you see yourself an unnatural amount. Like you're not actually meant to see yourself and analyze yourself in that way so much. And that's where I'm quite impressed. Like you boys sort of like you don't give a fuck. And I'm like, that's really like, I'm quite.
But I also,
cool.
I work out and do my stuff not for aesthetic reasons at all, which is, you can probably tell, like I should have like a 6-pack and shit when I work out. But I will indulge. But I eat a good 90% of the time. But if I indulge, I work out because I know what it felt like to not be able to walk or get out of bed without pain. Like obviously, I know people with disabilities and that it's completely different, but I got a glimpse into that, and I want my future self to be as fit and as healthy as I possibly can. And you do that now before it's too late.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that, and it's just I think when you get a taste of, and it is it's basing your confidence on something that can be changed. Or you can lose is risky. Like we're going to all eventually get old and lose our looks or whatever. Like your worthiness and your confidence needs to come from
like you see those like
go on.
You see those like older people who like, don't want to bring it up again, but they do like Ironmans, they run marathons like 70. Like you can always just look at someone like, fuck, they've looked after their body
as well. Like if someone's genuinely like proud of who they are and confident and like accepting of who they are, you feel that energy. If someone's like, and I'm guilty of it as hell, like guilty of like, oh my God, I need to look perfect, I need to look right. They're putting out an energy of actual like lacking and like not feeling good enough, and you actually feel that comes across. Like you think it's how you appear, but it's actually the vibe you're putting across that people feel more than just like what you look on the surface level.
You want to be able to play with your grandkids when you're 80, you know?
Get your knob out.
Yeah, like you did.
Okay. No, not with your grandkids. Don't do that. Anyways.
What a pleasure, boys.
It's actually a pleasure. And this is just the beginning. We have got so much to come, everyone. And like, when I say we are not just here to take part, but we are here to take over our own new studio, because we're not in competition with anyone else. But yeah, boys, I love you.
Love you.
Remember to send your questions in to the Wafflin email, which is theboys@wafflin.co. If you've got a massive dilemma like cheating or a massive scandal that you'd love to come on this show and have it out and sort out live with the Wafflin boys, then also send your video in saying why you think you'd be a good candidate for that.
Follow us on all socials. We want to get back to like 100K on Instagram.
Yeah. Obviously, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen or can listen to podcasts, and subscribe.
Yep. And next week, you might even look a bit different.
Because we can do something actually quite special. We can basically turn this background into being a different time, which is night time, which is fucking cool,
we
actually.
We can control time.
We can do that. So, yeah. But, it's just good to be back.
Yeah, it is, boys. This has been nice, and it's been lovely.
Good luck.
Having all you lot here.
Good luck, boys.
Good luck, lads.
Good luck.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck, everyone. We love you, and we will see you in the next episode. Peace.